She woke to the scrape of metal on wood. It wasn't a dream. It was steady, patient, like someone dragging a blade across her porch. Her breath caught as she swung her legs from the bed. The house was still dark, walls humming with night silence. She stepped barefoot to the door and pulled it open. A man was bent over the steps, sweeping with a bent piece of tin. His hand stopped her cold. Charred skin, warped and twisted, moving slow but steady, as if he had done this every morning. The porch boards creaked under her weight. He looked up. His eyes were pale, fixed on her, not surprised at all. "What are you doing?" Her voice cracked. "Cleaning. That's my porch." He nodded once and pushed the tin scrap again. It was dirty. Her throat tightened. "You need to leave." "I will." His voice was calm, low. He pushed the ash into a neat pile. "When it's clean." She stepped out, arms wrapped tight across her chest, though the night wasn't cold. She couldn't look away from his ruined hands. "You shouldn't be here." "I was always here." "I don't know you." He stopped, stood straight. His frame was lean, clothes ragged, burned at the cuffs. He looked like smoke had shaped him. "You used to sing to me as a baby." The words split the air. She felt her knees weaken. "What did you say?" "You sang." His eyes softened, strange against the scars. "In the dark, when no one else did." She shook her head. "I don't know you." "You do." "No." "Yes." The silence after was heavier than the words. He dropped the tin scrap. It clattered against the porch. She backed toward the door. "If you don't leave, I'll call the sheriff." His lips twitched. "You think he'll come for me?" "Yes." "He won't." Her hand hovered on the doorknob. "Why are you here?" He tilted his head, eyes tracing the doorframe like he was remembering it. "Because you forgot." "I won't forget things like this." "You did." Her voice broke sharp. "Stop." He stepped closer, not fast, not threatening, just sure. "Say my name." "I don't know your name." "You do." Her chest rose quickly, like her lungs were fighting themselves. "You're crazy." He smiled faintly, a crack in ash. "Maybe." She swung the door wider, ready to shut herself inside, but he lifted his burned hand and placed it on the railing. "You used to sit here with her. She held you. She sang to both of us." Her stomach turned. The boards beneath her feet felt softer, as if the house itself was shifting. "Who?" "Your mother." The word slid in like a blade. She swallowed hard. "No." "Yes." "You're lying." She sang low, off-key, humming when she thought no one listened. "But I did." Her body shook with something that wasn't cold. "Why are you telling me this?" "Because you don't remember." "I remember enough." You remember what they let you." She wanted to slam the door, but her hand froze on the knob. His scarred fingers flexed against the rail, raw and fragile. "You think I don't know this house?" he asked. "You don't." "I know the sound the floor makes in the back hall. I know the smell of the stove when coal goes out. I know the corner where she sat when she cried. Her nails bit into the wood." "Stop talking about her." "Why? She was mine, too." The words made her vision swim. She stumbled a step back. "You're not making sense." "I'm making more sense than they ever did." She pressed her lips tight. Silence stretched. He let it linger before speaking again. "They took me from here." Her head jerked. "Who did?" "You know who." "No." "Yes." The weight in his voice left no room. She could almost hear footsteps, see shadows from another night. She whispered, "Why come back now?" He leaned against the post, burning his hand resting open. "Because you're alone. Because you're old enough now to hear it." She stared at him, trying to find a lie in his eyes. All she found was calm, steady, unbearable. "You need to leave," she said again, weaker. "I will." "When?" "When you remember." "I don't want to remember." "You will." Her breath shook. The night had grown quiet. Too quiet. Not even the crickets called. "You're not real," she said, voice thin. "I bled in this dirt." He bent, scooped a handful of dust, let it fall between his fingers. "That's real." Her jaw clenched. "Get off my porch." "I'll finish sweeping first." "No." "Yes." Their eyes locked. Neither moved. The pile of ash on the steps stirred faintly in the breeze. "Tell me my name," he said again. "I don't know." "You do." Her chest heaved. "If I ever sang, it wasn't for you." He tilted his head, voice almost tender. Then who was it for? She froze. Words failed her. He smiled faintly at her silence. You see, he murmured. You do remember. The scrape of tin against wood began again, slow, steady, like nothing had passed between them. She stood in the doorway, hands trembling, watching a stranger with burned hands clean her porch as if it had always been his right, and she could not make herself close the door. She stood on the porch with the phone still warm in her hand. The burned man sat quiet on the steps, elbows on his knees, like he had always belonged there. When the cruiser's lights curved down the dirt road, dust rose in thin clouds. She wanted relief. What she felt instead was a knot in her chest. The sheriff climbed out slowly, one hand on his belt, eyes cutting over the house before they landed on her. He didn't ask what was wrong. He didn't even look at the stranger first. His gaze stayed on her. You called? Yes. What's the trouble? Her voice was tight. He was on my porch. The sheriff shifted his jaw, chewing nothing. Is that so? The burned man didn't stand. He kept his seat, scarred hands folded like prayer. She gestured. You see him. He won't leave. The sheriff's eyes slid to the man, lingered only a second, then back to her. And what's he done? Her breath caught. He's trespassing. That's all. That's enough. The sheriff rubbed his chin slow. Man's just sitting there. Don't see harm in sweeping a porch. She felt heat rise in her face. He's not supposed to be here. The burned man finally spoke, calm and low. Good to see you again, Sheriff. The words cut sharp. The sheriff's lips pressed thin. He didn't answer right away. You know him? She asked. The sheriff kept looking at her, not the man. Names don't matter here. Yes, they do. The burned man chuckled softly. He remembers me. The sheriff's shoulders tightened. You keep quiet. The man tilted his head, burned skin stretching like dry bark. Why? Truth makes you sweat. The sheriff's hand hovered near his holster, not drawing, just resting. Don't try me. She stepped forward. Sheriff, I don't understand. He turned his eyes on her, heavy, sharp, like weighing something he couldn't say. Best you let this go. I can't. You can. He said I used to sing to him. The sheriff's stare hardened. Don't repeat that. Why? What does it mean? Nothing. The burned man smiled, teeth yellow in the dark. It means everything. The sheriff's voice dropped low. Shut your mouth. No. The man leaned back on his elbows. You shut yours. You've been shutting down her whole life. The sheriff's nostrils flared. He finally looked full at the man. You should have stayed gone. The man shrugged. Fire didn't take me. Why should I go? Her pulse pounded. She stepped closer to the sheriff. You know him. His eyes flicked back to her, softer now, almost pity. Girl, you don't want this. I want the truth. The burned man grinned wide. She always did. Even as a baby. She knew when they lied. Her stomach twisted. Stop talking like that. Like what? Like you know me. I do. She shook her head. No. Yes. The sheriff cut in sharp. Enough. Both of you. She glared at him. You came here to help, so help. I am. By standing there staring at me? He exhaled, slow. I'm making sure you're steady. I don't need to be steady. I need answers. The burned man whispered. She sounds just like her mother. Her chest tightened. What did you say? The sheriff snapped. Don't. Her mother sang in the kitchen when the lamp smoked. Off-key, soft. He remembers it too. Her voice cracked. Sheriff? He rubbed. His eyes with thumb and forefinger. Don't dig this hole. You already dug it, the burned man said. Long ago, with her father, with the governor. The names dropped heavy. She stared at the sheriff. Governor? What does he have to do with this? The sheriff's jaw locked. He didn't answer. The burned man's smile widened. Everything. Her hands trembled. I don't understand. You will. Number, tell me now. The sheriff's tone was low, warning. Go back inside. I won't. Do as I say. No. The burned man laughed. She's stronger than you think. Quiet, the sheriff barked. The man leaned forward, elbows on knees again. Tell her, Sheriff. Tell her what happened the night the barn burned. The sheriff's eyes went dark. Don't bring that up. Why not? She should know whose screams she really heard. Her breath caught sharp. I never heard screams. You did, the man said. You were too young, the sheriff muttered. She shook her head, heart racing. Why won't you tell me? What are you hiding? The sheriff stepped close, voice near a whisper. "It'll break you." "It's already breaking me." The burned man smiled softly. "She can take it. More than either of you ever could." The sheriff's hand twitched near his gun again. She saw it, fear rising in her throat. "Are you going to shoot him?" she asked. "If I have to." "Why?" "Because some things are better buried." The burned man's voice was steady. "Bury me once. Shame on you. Try twice, and I'll drag you down with me." The sheriff stiffened. Silence stretched long. Dust swirled in the headlights of the cruiser. Her voice shook. "I called you to protect me, and you won't even look at him. You just keep staring at me." The sheriff's eyes softened, almost pleading. "Because you're the one who matters." "I'm not a child anymore." "I know." "Then stop lying to me." The burned man rose slowly, his full height casting shadow over both of them. His burned hands hung loose at his sides. "You can't keep her from me," he said. "She ain't yours," the sheriff growled. "She always was." Her knees trembled. "I don't know what any of this means." "You will," the man promised. The sheriff's shoulders sagged. He looked tired, broken. "I should take him in. But you don't want that." "Yes, I do," she whispered. "No, you don't." The burned man chuckled. "He knows if I go, I'll talk." The sheriff's silence was enough. Her voice cracked raw. "You're all hiding something from me." Neither man spoke. The night pressed heavy, thick with unspoken truths. She felt herself trembling, not from fear, but from the certainty that the burned man wasn't lying. The sheriff's eyes said it all, and that truth was worse than anything she had imagined. The house felt too wide once the sheriff's cruiser pulled away. She locked the door, but it didn't matter. Silence pressed from every wall. She crossed the room, pulled open the drawer no one touched, and laid the bundle of letters on the table. The paper was yellow, edges curled, ink smudged by years of sweat. Her mother's hand. Her father's, too. She had promised herself she would never read them again. Tonight, she couldn't stop. Her fingers trembled as she pulled one free. The handwriting was rough. Hurried, her father's. Don't tell her what she doesn't need to know. Another, her mother's softer hand. She cries at night when the barn creaks. She remembers even though she shouldn't. Her throat tightened. She shoved the papers back into the bundle and carried them to the stove. The fire was weak, only coals. She opened the iron door, fed the first letter in. The edges curled black. Ink bled, then vanished. She fed another. "You'll regret that." Her body whipped around. He was there, standing in the doorway. The burned man. Her chest heaved. "How did you get inside?" "The door was easy. I locked it." "You think locks matter?" She glared. "Get out." "No." "Yes." "No." His eyes glimmered faintly. "Not until you listen." She turned back to the fire, shoved another letter in. Paper crumpled into glowing curls. He stepped closer. Those were hers. They were poisonous. They were the truth, she hissed. They were lies, she told herself. Lies don't burn that slow. Her hands shook as she forced another into the flames. "You don't know anything about her." His voice dropped low. "I knew more than you think." "Stop." She sang when she wrote. "Did you know that?" She froze, eyes on the flames. She'd hum soft, words she couldn't write down. I heard her, every night. Her throat closed. "You weren't there." "I was." "You weren't?" "Yes." "No." "Yes." The stove popped as a page collapsed into red ash. She pressed her palm against the iron door, too hot, burning her skin, but she didn't move. "You don't belong here," she whispered. He smiled faintly. "I always belonged here. You're the one who doesn't." She spun on him, fury breaking through her fear. "This is my house. It was hers first. It's mine now." "You think land listens to deeds? Land remembers blood." She shook her head hard. "You're sick." He stepped closer. "Maybe. But sickness comes from somewhere." Her chest rose sharp. "Why won't you just leave me alone?" "Because you called me back." "I did not." "You did." "When?" "Every time you try to forget. Every time you threw one of those letters on fire, you whispered to me." "You're insane." "Am I?" "Yes." His burned hands twitched, scarred skin catching the firelight. "Then why does the sheriff look at you like you already know?" Her lips parted, but no words came. He nodded. "You feel it, deep down. You've always felt it." She staggered back against the table, gripping its edge. I don't want this. You never had a choice. I did. No. Yes. He leaned forward, eyes burning brighter than the coals. Your father drank to kill memory. Your mother wrote to hide it. You burn the words because you're the only one left who can't stand silence. Tears burned in her eyes. Shut up. Say it. Shut up. Say my name. I don't know your name. Yes, you do. She hurled the last stack of letters into the stove. Flames rose, choking smoke filling the room. She coughed hard, eyes watering. The letters curled, blackened, vanished one by one. He didn't flinch at the smoke. He stood steady, watching her instead of the fire. You think you ended them, he said softly. But all you did was set them free. Her hands trembled. She grabbed the iron poker, raised it like a weapon. Stay away from me. He stepped forward anyway. I'll use it, she warned. He nodded. Good. You'll need to. Her grip tightened on the poker. Her heart slammed against her ribs. He stopped a foot away. His burned hands hung at his sides. His voice was quiet now. She wanted you to know. That's why she wrote. That's why she sang. Not for herself. Not even for him. For you. Her jaw clenched. You're lying. Am I? Yes. Then why do you remember the sound of her humming, even now? Her breath faltered. She dropped the poker with a clang. The fire roared behind her, swallowing the last of the letters. Smoke coiled along the ceiling. He leaned closer, voice barely above a whisper. You can burn paper. You can't burn blood. Her face twisted with anger, grief, fear tangled as one. Get out. He smiled faintly. No. Her chest rose in sharp gasps. Why won't you leave? Because you finally lit the fire. Her knees buckled. She slid against the table, clutching her chest. He stood over her, quiet, waiting, like he had been standing in that same spot for decades. The room filled with smoke and silence, broken only by the crackle of letters turning to ash. And he did not move from the doorway. The rumble came before the dust. She stood at the window and watched the convoy roll down the dirt road, black cars shining wrong against the land. Tires cracked gravel, engines low. They stopped in a line at her gate. Men in dark coats stepped out first, scanning the yard, their eyes sharp like knives. Then the last door opened. The governor stepped down. He wore a crisp suit, dust clinging to his polished shoes, tie tight around his neck. He looked out of place, yet at ease, as if the dirt itself bowed to him. He walked slowly toward the porch. She pushed the door open. Before he could knock. You didn't have to come here. His smile was thin. Of course I did. Behind her, the burned man leaned against the wall, silent. The governor's eyes flicked past her, settling on him. So it's true. Her chest tightened. You know him? The governor didn't answer. He stepped inside without asking, brushing past her like the house was his. The air shifted. She followed, voice sharp. Say what you came to say. He turned to face her, hands clasped. That man is dangerous. She glanced at the burned man. He stood calm, scars glowing faint in the lamplight. The governor's tone hardened. He's not supposed to be here. He escaped from a place meant to contain him. Her stomach twisted. Contain him where? A hospital, the governor said. The burned man laughed, deep and low. Hospital. Is that what we call cages now? The governor's jaw clenched. Quiet. No. The man's eyes stayed on her. Ask him why your mother screamed the night the barn burned. Her breath caught. She looked at the governor. His face didn't move, but his eyes betrayed something. Fear. Guilt. Don't listen, he said. I want answers. You'll get none from him. The burned man smiled faintly. Because if you did, you'd have to face yourself. Enough, the governor snapped. You don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do. She stepped closer to her uncle. Why won't you tell me what happened that night? He shook his head slowly. It's not for you to carry. It already is. The burned man's voice cut sharp. She carried it as a baby. She heard it before she knew words. Her throat closed. What did I hear? The governor raised his hand to silence them both. Stop, she glared. Number, I'm not a child. Stop speaking to me like one. The burned man nodded, approving. Stronger than her mother. The governor's voice lowered. Don't compare her. Why not? The man asked. You compare them every day. The governor's eyes burned. Shut your mouth. Make me. The tension cracked the air. She stood between them, shaking, but her voice came steady. "Tell me the truth." The governor sighed heavily, like the weight of the county hung on his shoulders. "Your father was drunk that night. He set fire without knowing. Your mother screamed because she thought you'd been lost in it." She stared. "That's not true." "It is." The burned man's voice was calm. "Number the barn was locked. Children inside. You know it." Her chest pounded. She whispered, "Children." The governor's face hardened. "He's lying." "Am I?" The man lifted his scarred hands. "Then where did I get these?" Her eyes locked on the twisted flesh. The governor looked away. "Say it," the burned man pressed. "Tell her what you did." The governor's voice broke sharp. "Enough." She stepped closer, eyes drilling into him. "Is it true?" He looked at her, no longer governor, just a man cornered. "It doesn't matter now." "It matters to me." He exhaled slowly, shoulders sagging. "You'll ruin yourself if you chase this." "You think I'm not ruined already?" The burned man's smile was cold. "She's stronger than both of you ever were." Her uncle's face twisted with anger. "You think you know strength? You think survival makes you righteous." The man tilted his head. "Number, but truth does." The governor shook his head, stepping toward her. "Listen to me. Don't let him poison you." She backed away. "He's not the only one poisoning me." The burned man chuckled dark. "She finally sees it." Her voice cut sharp. "I want the truth." The governor's jaw set. "The truth is ugly." "Then let me look ugly." The room fell silent. The fire popped in the stove. Outside, the black cars idled, men waiting. The burned man whispered, "Say it." The governor closed his eyes a moment, then opened them, gaze hard. "It wasn't supposed to happen. We wanted silence. That's all. But fire doesn't keep secrets." Her breath shook. "What did you say?" He didn't answer. The burned man leaned in. "Me." Her knees weakened. She gripped the table to steady herself. The governor's face turned stern again, power sliding back into place. "He belongs in chains. If you care for yourself, you'll let us take him." Her voice cracked. "And if I don't, then you'll burn with him." The burned man laughed softly, bitterly. "She already burns." Her uncle's eyes locked on her. "Choose." Her throat tightened. She looked from one man to the other, both holding pieces of her past, both waiting. The governor's voice dropped low. "He's nothing but ash." The burned man's voice answered. "Ash remembers." Her chest heaved. She felt the house listening, walls pressing closer, memories bleeding through smoke. "I can't," she whispered. "You must," the governor said. The burned man's eyes glimmered. "She already has." The silence after was unbearable, heavy as the dirt outside. The governor turned, face carved in stone. "This isn't finished." He stepped back into the night. The men closed around him, doors slamming, engines starting. Dust rose again, swallowing the black convoy as it pulled away. She stood frozen in the doorway, heart pounding. Behind her, the burned man whispered one word. "Remember." The night was damp, air heavy with the smell of earth after dust. He walked ahead without asking, his stride slow but certain, like he had already traced this path 100 times. She followed, barefoot in the grass, each step rough with roots and stone. The house shrank behind them, its light fading, until only the moon clung to her shoulders. "Where are you taking me?" Her voice was sharp, cutting the quiet. "You know," he said. "I don't." "You do." She clenched her fists. "Stop talking in riddles." "I'm not." "Yes, you are." He looked back, eyes pale in the dark. "I'm reminded." They came to the clearing. The stones circled like teeth around the mouth of the well, moss thick between them. She froze at the edge. "No," she whispered. "Yes," he said. "I don't come here." "You should." "I hate this place." "So do I." He stepped closer, his burned hand brushing the stones. His fingers trembled, scar tissue catching the moonlight. "Why here?" she asked. "Because it remembers." "It's just a hole." "It's more." "Stop." "No." Her breath shook. "You're sick." He smiled faintly. "Sickness has roots." She stepped forward, anger sparking. "Then tell me, what happened here? Why drag me to this place?" He crouched by the well, leaning over the black water below. "Fire drove us out, but water kept the sound." "What sound?" He dipped his hand into the dark, scarred skin, breaking the surface. Ripples spread. Screams. Her stomach twisted. You're lying. You heard them once. Small ears. You cried. I don't remember. You do. No. Yes. Her chest rose hard. Who screamed? He lifted his hand, dripping, water sliding down ruined flesh. Your mother. Her throat caught. No. Yes. She never came here. She came. She leaned over, calling for me, for the others. Her heart slammed. Others. He nodded, eyes never leaving the dark below. Children. She shook her head, stepping back. There were no others. There were. Liar. Truth. The water stilled, silence pressed thick. She whispered, Why are you doing this? Because you must know. I don't want to. You must. Her voice cracked. Why me? You were there. Her chest tightened. I was a baby. And babies remember. Just different. No. Yes. He lowered both hands now, scarred flesh sinking into the water, holding there as if baptizing what was left of him. What are you doing? She asked. Listening. To what? The well. Her voice trembled. I can't speak. It does. What does it say? That it still remembers. She hugged herself, shivering though the night was warm. Remember what? He turned his head, eyes locking on hers. The fire, the chains, the cries, her knees weakened. She grabbed the edge of the stone for balance. He whispered, It holds what we bury, and we buried too much. Tears stung her eyes. Stop. He leaned closer over the water. She sang here too, not lullabies, prayers. Her voice cracked. My mother. Yes. She wouldn't. She did. You can't know that. I heard her. When? Always. Her hands trembled. You're a ghost. He smiled faintly. Maybe. Number your flesh. Flesh burns, but memory doesn't. She covered her ears. I don't want to hear this. You already did. She looked down at him, crouched over the well, ruined hands dripping. Why won't you let me be? Because you called me back. I didn't. You did. When you burned the letters, when you opened the door, when you asked why she screamed. Her chest heaved, tears falling. What do you want from me? His voice was steady. Truth. I can't. You can. It'll kill me. It'll save you. She shook her head. You don't know me. He leaned close, whispering, You used to sing to me. Her knees buckled. She fell to the grass. The water below shivered, ripples spreading, though nothing had touched it. He lifted his hands, dripping again, and let the drops fall back into the well. He murmured, It remembers even when you don't. The night thickened, the clearing silent except for the faint sound of water breathing, and she could not bring herself to look away. The boards creaked under her weight as he led her through the farmhouse. Dust hung in the air, heavy, stirred with each step. The walls leaned like tired men, wallpaper curled and gray, smelling of mildew and old smoke. She wanted to turn back, but his burned hand pressed against the doorframe, steady, guiding. Why here? She asked. He didn't look back. Because you sang here. I don't remember. You do. No. Yes. The hallway opened into a small room. The windows were clouded with dirt. Glass cracked in the corners. A chair lay broken against the wall. The ceiling sagged. He stood in the center, eyes closed. She stopped in the doorway. This isn't mine. It was. It isn't anymore. He hummed low, off key. She froze. The sound was wrong, but familiar. Buried deep. It was the lullaby she used to hum as a girl. The one her mother made her sing when storms shook the roof. Her chest tightened. Stop! He kept humming, voice cracking, broken tones spilling like ash. Stop it, she said louder. His eyes opened. You remember now. No. Yes. Her fists clenched. You can't just come here and act like you know me. I do. You don't. You sang to me. I sang to myself. You sang for both of us. Her voice cut sharp. We are not the same. He stepped closer, scarred face calm, eyes steady. We are tied. No. Yes. Her voice cracked. Stop saying that. Blood ties are stronger than fire. She shook her head hard. We're not family. We are. Her throat tightened. Who are you? You know. I don't. You do. She took a step back. You're nothing but a ghost. Then why do you hear me? Her hands trembled. She pressed them against her ears. Because you're loud. He smiled faintly. Because you're listening. The hum returned, softer now. The melody circled the room, pulling memories like threads she couldn't cut. She saw herself small again, feet swinging off the chair, singing into the dark to keep it from swallowing her. She gasped and shook it off. You were not there, she said. I was. No. Yes. Her anger broke sharp. Why are you doing this to me? Because you must see. I don't want to. You do. I don't. Yes. His burned hand lifted, trembling, pointing to the corner. There, she followed his finger. In the corner lay a torn blanket, dirt-stained but still showing faded flowers. Her breath caught. Yours, he whispered. No. Yes. She bent, touched the cloth with shaking fingers. It can't be. It is. Her eyes filled. She used to wrap me in this. She wrapped us both. No. Yes. Her voice cracked. She never told me. She couldn't. Why not? They made her silent. Her hands clutched the fabric. Who? You know who? No. Yes. Her chest rose sharp. My father. His silence was answer enough. She dropped the blanket, backing away. You're lying. I'm not. You are. No. Yes. He stepped closer. Look at me. I don't want to. Look. She lifted her eyes, forced, and saw him steady in the dim light. His scars, his ruin, his calm. You see it, he said. I see nothing. You see yourself. Her lips trembled. We are not the same. His voice was soft, low, breaking. You are me. I am you. Blood. Her hands covered her face. No. Yes. Then why would they hide you? Because I wasn't meant to live. Her stomach twisted. Who said that? They did. Who? The ones who wore badges. The ones who wore suits. Her uncle's face flashed in her mind. The sheriff's eyes. Her voice broke. Why me then? Why let me stay? He whispered, because you were theirs. I was hers. Tears slipped hot down her cheeks. She shook her head, desperate. It can't be true. It is. Stop saying that. Say it yourself. I won't. You will. I won't. The sound echoed against the broken walls. Her own voice startled her. Silence fell heavy after. He bent, lifted the blanket, held it out with both ruined hands. Take it. She didn't move. Take it, he said again. Her hand shook as she reached. She touched the cloth, pulling it slowly from his grip. It's yours, he whispered. No, she said weakly. Yes. Her chest rose with shallow gasps. I don't want it. You do. No. Yes. Her silence betrayed her. She clutched the blanket to her chest, trembling, face wet. His eyes softened. See, you know. She stared at him, voice shaking. If it's true, then what does that make me? His reply was steady, certain. Mine. Her knees gave. She sank onto the floor, blanket in her arms. He crouched across from her, humming again, low, broken, the same tune she had buried in herself for years. She pressed her face into the cloth and wept. He hummed on, unbroken, waiting, like he had been waiting his whole life for her to hear. The farmhouse walls groaned with the sound, and nothing could silence it. The dirt road split at the crossroads, moonlight painting the dust silver. She stood in the center, breath sharp, heart racing. The sheriff's cruiser pulled in from one side, lights off but engine low, heavy. From the other direction, the governor's black car rolled to a stop, tires sinking into gravel. She felt the ground tilt beneath her as both doors opened. The sheriff stepped out first, his hand already near his gun. The governor followed, polished shoes sinking into dirt, his suit catching dust like it didn't belong. The burned man stood behind her, calm, scarred hands loose at his sides. The sheriff's voice cut sharp. Step away from him. She didn't move. No. Do it. I won't. The governor's tone was smooth, rehearsed. You don't understand what you're protecting. Her eyes locked on him. Then explain it. He glanced at the burned man. He's dangerous. The man laughed low, bitter. Dangerous because I lived? The sheriff's jaw clenched. Because you shouldn't have. Her chest tightened. Say it plain. No. The sheriff muttered. Yes, the burned man said. The governor's voice rose. You have no idea what he is. I know enough. she shot back. The burned man leaned closer to her ear. They're afraid. Quiet, the sheriff barked. Afraid of the truth, the man pressed. The governor stepped closer, eyes cold. He remembers things that never happened. The man's laugh echoed in the dust. Never happened. Look at me. He held out his ruined hands, skin warped, shining in the moonlight. You think I burned myself for a story? The sheriff's voice cracked. Enough. Not enough, the man said. Not until you say it. She turned to the sheriff, voice sharp. Say what? The sheriff's hand twitched near his holster. That he's a liar. Then why won't you look at him? The governor snapped. Because he's filth. He doesn't deserve the ground he walks on. The burned man grinned, teeth broken but steady. Filth that lived through your fire. Her stomach turned. What fire? Silence stretched. The men didn't answer. The burned man chuckled. See, cowards. The sheriff's face hardened. You shut your mouth. Make me, the man said. The governor's voice cut cold. We will. Her breath caught. You're here to kill him. Neither man spoke. The silence was enough. She staggered back. Not because he's crazy, because he remembers. The burned man smiled at her. She sees it now. The sheriff's eyes locked on her. You don't know what you're stepping into. I know you're lying. The governor's voice sharpened. You think you want the truth. You don't. I do, she said. You'll drown in it. Better than choking on lies. The burned man laughed hard, echoing across the empty road. Hear that? She's braver than both of you. The sheriff barked. Enough games. Step aside. She shook her head. No. Girl, no. The governor's patience broke. Move, or you'll regret it. Her voice cracked, but held steady. I already regret enough. The burned man stepped forward, standing beside her now. She won't move. The sheriff's hand went for his gun. She froze, staring. Don't, she whispered. He hesitated. The burned man grinned. Coward. The sheriff snapped. You shut up. You fear me. I pity you. Number you fear me, because I know what you did. The governor's voice thundered. Enough. The burned man's eyes glimmered. You locked the barn. You lit the match, and you left me there to die. Her body shook. She turned to the sheriff. Is it true? His jaw tightened. No. Yes, the man said. She stepped closer to the sheriff, eyes burning. Look at me and say it. He couldn't. His gaze dropped. Her knees weakened. God. The governor barked. Stop listening to him. He's the only one telling me anything, she said. The burned man whispered. See, she remembers. The sheriff's voice broke. You were never supposed to know. Her breath caught. Then it's true. The burned man's laughter echoed again, jagged, triumphant. Truth tastes bitter, doesn't it? The governor's hand slipped into his coat. Her stomach dropped. Don't, she said. He froze, eyes hard. Then move. She stood her ground. No. The burned man's voice was calm. She won't let you bury me again. The governor's eyes cut sharp. You think she'll save you? The man smiled faintly. She already has. The sheriff's voice was low, pleading. Please, step aside. Her eyes welled. I can't. Why? Because I finally see who you are. The burned man laughed again. She's not yours anymore. The governor's voice grew cold. Then she's nothing. Her hands trembled. I'm not nothing. Not yours. Not his. Not anyone's. The silence after was sharp, cutting. The burned man grinned wide, fearless. So what'll it be, lawman, governor? You gonna shoot me? Or live knowing she knows? The sheriff's grip tightened on his gun. The governor's face was stone. Dust swirled at their feet. She stood between them, heart hammering, caught in the weight of all their silence. And for the first time she realized none of them would walk away clean. The night pressed thick, sky low with clouds. As he pulled her across the field, his grip on her arm was firm but not cruel. Burned fingers hot against her skin. She stumbled, half fighting him, half following because she couldn't stop herself. The barn loomed ahead, a dark silhouette against the gray. Its roof sagged, beams blackened with age and smoke. She slowed, dug her heels in. No, she whispered. Yes, he said. I don't want to. You must. Her chest tightened. Not here. Here most of all. He dragged her the last steps until they stood before the wide doors. They hung crooked on rusted hinges, char streaks running up the wood like veins. He shoved one door open. It groaned, the sound hollow. The smell hit her, smoke still clinging after all these years. She froze. "Go in," he said. "I can't." "You can." "No." "Yes." He stepped inside, pulling her with him. Dust rose, thick, choking. Moonlight cut through holes in the roof, beams falling on broken boards and burned straw. She covered her mouth, staring. "Look," he told her. "I don't want to." "You need to." Her eyes burned. She forced them to the charred beams above. The wood bent inward, black scars crawling down. The ground was littered with ash and fragments. "This is where it happened," he said. Her stomach nodded. "What happened?" "You know." "I don't." "You do." "No." "Yes." He led her deeper, past broken rafters, until they reached the back corner. He knelt, hands scraping through ash. His burned skin blended with the black dirt. "Help me," he said. She shook her head. "No." "Help." "I can't." "You can." Her breath shook. She dropped to her knees, pushed the ash aside with trembling fingers. The dirt was soft, heavy. Something hard clinked beneath. She pulled it free. A small toy horse melted, legs fused together. Her throat closed. "No." He watched her, eyes steady. "Yes." She dug again, fingers frantic, pulling free scraps of cloth, buttons fused with soot. A doll's head blackened and cracked. She dropped it, gagged, and covered her mouth. "There were others," he whispered. Tears filled her eyes. "No." "Yes." Her hands shook. "Who?" "Children." She stared at him, unable to breathe. "You're lying." "I'm not." Her voice cracked sharp. "Who would do this?" "You know." "No." "Yes." "My father." He didn't answer. His silence was answer enough. She screamed, voice raw, filling the barn. Dust rained from the rafters. She pressed her face to her hands. "I was just a boy," he said softly. Her head lifted, eyes red. "What?" "When it burned. I was only a boy. We were locked in. Someone chained the door. We clawed at it. We cried. No one came." Her chest heaved. "Stop!" "I still hear them." His voice trembled now. Little fists on wood, screams, then smoke, then fire. They fell quiet one by one, until it was only me. She shook her head, rocking. "No." "Yes." Her tears ran down, streaking dirt on her face. "How did you survive?" "I don't know. I shouldn't have. But I did." She whispered, broken. "Why?" He looked at her, eyes hollow. "So I could remember." Her heart pounded. "Why would they hide this?" "Because power needs silence." She choked out, "The sheriff." "The governor." He nodded faintly. "They knew." They all knew. Her body shook, rage and grief burning. "And my mother." "She tried. She sang to us through the boards. But they pulled her away." Her face twisted. "Why didn't she tell me?" "Because they broke her." She collapsed forward, hands in the ash, sobbing. He knelt beside her, his burned hand resting near hers. "See," he whispered, "you feel it now." The truth, she raised her head, face streaked. "I don't want it. You have it. It'll kill me. It'll free you." Her lips trembled. "And damn me." "Maybe." She screamed again, this time in fury, slamming her fists into the dirt. Ash scattered, revealing more fragments. Shoes too small, bones brittle. She froze, horror sinking deeper. Her voice broke. "God." His eyes stayed on her. "Not God. Man." Her chest rose sharp. She turned to him, face twisted. "You think we share blood?" "We do." "You think I'll claim you?" "You already have." "No." "Yes." Her silence betrayed her. She couldn't deny what she felt, what her eyes had seen. The barn groaned in the wind, beams creaking like voices crying out again. She clutched the doll's head from the dirt, blackened, fragile. "They'll pay." He smiled faintly, bitterly. "They won't let you." "Then I'll make them." His voice softened. "Stronger than her. Stronger than me." Her hands tightened around the doll. "I'll burn them like they burned you." His laughter was quiet, broken. "Now you understand." The barn walls shuddered. Dust rained down. She stood, clutching the toy, face hard. He rose with her, burned hands trembling, eyes glowing faint. Together they looked at the black beams, the graves hidden beneath ash. And for the first time, she saw the truth not as memory, but as fire still burning in her chest. The night felt like it had no end. The barn's black beams leaned in around them, dust drifting from the rafters, the smell of old fire seeping into her skin. She stood frozen, the doll's head clenched in her fist, breath ragged. He faced her, burned hands trembling as if the truth itself shook through him. He spoke low. "I am your blood." Her head snapped. "No." "Yes." "You're lying." "No." Her voice cut sharp. "Don't say it." "I have to." "You don't." "I do." Her chest heaved. "You're not my kin." "I am." "You can't be." "I am your mother's son." The words hit like a stone. Her stomach twisted, rage and grief colliding. "No." "Yes." "Impossible." "Not impossible. Hidden." Her fists tightened around the doll. "If you were hers, she would have told me." "She tried." "No." "Yes." "She hummed to you." "She hummed to me." "Same songs. Same voice." Her throat closed. "Stop it." His voice cracked. She sang through the boards while we burned. Her voice carried, even when smoke filled our lungs. Her body shook. "You're making this up." He stepped closer, trembling. "Look at me. You see it." She forced her eyes to him, saw the curve of his jaw beneath the ruin, the faint line in his brow that matched her own. She stumbled back. "No." "Yes. You know it." Her voice cracked. "Why would they hide you?" His burned hands lifted, shaking. "Because I wasn't wanted. Because your father knew I was proof." Her stomach lurched. "Proof of what?" "That your mother loved another." The words pierced her. She staggered, pressing the doll against her chest. He whispered, "She tried to keep me." But he wouldn't let her. Her tears stung. "Stop." "They chained the barn. They lit it to erase me." Her scream broke, raw. "No." "Yes." "They wouldn't." "They did. Sheriff, governor, your father, all of them." Her face twisted. "You're sick." His voice fell soft. "I was a boy, like any boy. They made me ash." Her knees weakened. She pressed against the wall. "Why tell me this now?" "Because you're the last. You carry her voice. You carry mine." She shook her head, hair wild. "I don't want you. You already have me." "No." "Yes." "In blood." Her hands trembled, clutching the doll tighter. "I'm not your sister." "You are." "Stop saying it." "You feel it." "I feel nothing." His eyes softened, wet. "Then why do you cry?" Her tears spilled faster. She turned away, but his voice followed. "Ask yourself why the sheriff never looks at me. Ask why the governor sweats when I speak. Ask why your father drank himself hollow." She closed her eyes, choking. "They are powerful men. You're nothing." "I am their shame, and your truth." Her voice snapped. "My truth is not yours." He whispered, "It is." "No." "Yes." Her fury flared. "Then where were you when I needed a brother? Where were you when she died? When he hit me? When I sang myself to sleep because no one else would?" His voice broke, burning. Her chest collapsed. The word hollowed her. He stepped closer, shaking, eyes raw. "I clawed at the door. I screamed until my throat bled. I prayed for someone to pull me out. No one came. Only fire. Only her voice." Her sob ripped through the barn. She fell to her knees, shaking. He crouched near, scarred hands open. She begged them to spare me. They wouldn't. So she gave me to the flames. Not her choice, their order. Her voice cracked. "You're a lie." "I am the truth." "You're madness." "I am blood." Her scream echoed. "Stop." He whispered a lullaby, low, broken, the same one she used to hum. Her heart seized. "Don't," she begged. He kept humming, soft, off-key. She pressed her hands over her ears. "Don't." The sound wrapped around her, memories flooding. Her mother's hum at the stove, her own hum in bed, storms rattling the roof. She dropped her hands, shaking. "You remember," he whispered. Her lips trembled. "I don't." "You do." "No." "Yes." She turned to him, fury shaking her frame. "Even if you are blood, even if you are hers, why come now? Why break me?" His eyes glimmered. "Because silence is killing you. Because you already know." Her chest heaved. "I don't." "You do. That's why you burned the letters. That's why you can't sleep. That's why you looked at the well and felt sick." Her face crumpled. "You know," he said. She whispered, broken. "Yes." The word escaped before she could stop it. Her silence after was louder than her denial. He knelt, scarred hands trembling in the dirt. "Then say it plain." Her lips quivered. "Brother." Tears slid hot. She collapsed forward, choking on her breath. His arms opened, hesitant, scarred. She didn't move into them. She stayed curled, a blanket of ash and silence holding her. He whispered, "Now you see why they fear me." She gasped between sobs. "They'll kill you." "They already tried." "They'll try again." "They'll fail again." Her voice shook. "Not if I stop them." His eyes met hers. "You can't." "I can." "No." "Yes." He tilted his head. "Would you kill your own blood to save the men who tried to erase me?" Her chest seized. She shook her head. "I don't know." "You do." She stared at him, torn, the weight pressing. His voice softened. "You'll have to choose, them or me, lies or blood." Her hands clutched the doll until it cracked. She whispered, "Why did you live?" He smiled faintly. "So you'd know you weren't alone." Her sob broke again. He reached for her, humming once more. Steady now, filling the burned barn with the sound of old songs, half remembered, half haunting. And though she wanted to scream, to run, she sat there, silent, her tears betraying that deep inside she had always known. The night dragged her back to the clearing. The old well sat in its circle of stones, dark water breathing beneath. The air was heavy with dust and silence. She stood there, clutching her chest, when the headlights came. The sheriff's cruiser first, then the governor's black car, engines humming low, lights cutting through the trees. Doors slammed, boots crunched gravel. The two men walked forward, power on their shoulders like armor. The sheriff kept one hand near his gun. The governor adjusted his tie, as if the dirt itself might stain him. She stayed at the edge of the well. Behind her, the burned man rose from the shadows. He looked like he belonged to the night, scarred, broken, but steady. The sheriff's voice cut through. "This ends now." She stared back. "Then say it plain." The governor's tone was smoother. "You have a choice, girl, family legacy, or that thing standing behind you." Her throat burned. "He's not a thing." The governor's eyes flicked over her. "He's filth. He was always filth." The burned man laughed, soft and bitter. "Then why are you afraid of me?" "Quiet," the sheriff barked. "No," the man said. The governor stepped closer. "You think you know the truth. You don't. You're chasing ghosts. All you'll find is ruin." She looked at him, trembling. "Maybe ruin's better than silence." The sheriff's jaw tightened. "Don't talk like that." "Why not?" She shot back. "Because you're one of us." Her voice cracked. "Am I?" "Yes." She shook her head. "I'm hers." The burned man whispered behind her. "Say it louder." She choked, staring at the ground. "I'm hers." The sheriff's eyes darkened. "You don't know what you're saying." The governor's tone hardened. "She knows exactly. She's choosing ash over blood." The burned man's laughter echoed. "Number she's choosing, the blood you buried." The sheriff snapped, voice sharp. "Enough!" He reached for his gun. She stepped in front of the burned man, hands shaking. "Don't." The sheriff froze. "Move." "No." "Move now." "I won't." The governor's eyes narrowed. "Think carefully. You defy us, you lose everything. Land, house, name." Her chest heaved. "Maybe it's time it burned." The burned man smiled faintly. "She's stronger than either of you," the sheriff growled. "She's foolish," the governor snapped. "She's a girl who doesn't understand power." She met his gaze, steady through tears. "I understand enough. Power killed him. Power killed them all." The burned man's scarred hand brushed her arm. "Let them hear it." She turned back to the well, staring into the dark water. Her reflection trembled on the surface, fractured by ripples. She saw herself, saw them behind, saw his burned hands reaching. The sheriff stepped closer. "Don't do this," she whispered. "You already did." His voice broke sharp. "I was trying to protect you." "By lying." "By keeping you safe." She glared. "Safe from what? From him or from the truth?" The governor cut in. "You think this truth will free you? It'll chain you forever. Think of her, your mother. Do you think she wanted this dug up?" Her voice shook. "She wanted me to know." "You don't know that." "I do." The burned man whispered. "She sang it." The governor sneered. "Songs don't change history." The man laughed. "Number but fire does." The sheriff's hand tightened on his gun. "This is your last chance." Her breath caught. She looked from badge to tie, from their faces to his ruined hands, then down into the well again, at her reflection breaking on the water. The governor said, "Say the words. Say you stand with us. It'll all be done." The burned man murmured, "Or say mine." "And let them fall." Silence pressed. Thick. She whispered, "I can't carry both." "Then choose," the sheriff said. Her chest heaved. "I choose her." The men stiffened. "What?" She raised her voice clear. "I choose my mother. And him. The blood you buried." The burned man's eyes glimmered, wet. The governor's face hardened. "Then you'll drown with them." She turned to the well, leaning over, staring deep into the dark. "Better to drown in truth than live in your lies." The sheriff's voice cracked. "Don't do this." She whispered, "You already did." The burned man stepped forward, laughing hollow. "Cowards! All these years, all this power, and a girl undoes you." The governor snarled. "Shut him up." The sheriff drew his gun. Her scream cut through. "No." He froze. Her eyes burned. "If you fire, it's me you'll hit." His hand trembled. She stepped closer to the well, voice soft. "This ends here." The governor hissed. "Step back. Don't you dare." She ignored him, leaned closer, staring at her reflection. "I see her." The burned man whispered, "Sing." Her lips parted, shaky. A broken hum spilled out, off-key, raw, but real. The song her mother sang, the one she buried. The sheriff's gun lowered, hand shaking. The governor stepped back, eyes wide. "Stop that!" She kept humming. The burned man joined, voice cracked, scarred, throat trembling. Their voices tangled in the night, broken but unbroken. The men watched, pale, powerless. Her voice faded to a whisper. "She's here." The burned man's eyes closed, tears slipping down ruined skin. Silence followed. The well breathed back, water rippling. The sheriff dropped his gun into the dirt. "God forgive us." The governor turned away, face like stone. She straightened, staring at them both. "You can bury barns, you can bury children, you can bury her, but you won't bury me." The burned man's smile was faint, steady. "Now it's done." The men said nothing. Dust stirred in the headlights. She turned back to the well. Her reflection steadied, no longer fractured. She whispered, "I choose the truth." The burned man's scarred hand touched the stone. And so it lives. The sheriff staggered back, broken. The governor walked toward his car, silent, rigid. Engines roared, tires spun dust. Then they were gone. The clearing fell quiet, only the sound of water. She stood with him, side by side, staring into the well. Neither spoke again. The night held its silence, and the water remembered.